Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Good morning. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Dyson Chauskas. Today's the 29th of May 2018. So welcome everyone once again. So we're going to have a look at the markets, what happened with them yesterday, what levels to watch out for today. As always, guys, so before we jump into the charts, a quick reminder of our First, actually, before I will remind you about our JFD research page, first let's have a look at our risk disclaimers. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. And this is where I'm going to remind you about our JFD research page. So where you can find different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different technical outlooks, different trading shoutouts, and certainly, of course, analysis in different languages as well. So yeah, guys, feel free to visit us here, and I think you can find something useful for yourself. So, but for now, let's quickly have a look at the markets. So the first one I want to start off with is the German DAX. Now the German DAX yesterday managed to hit this level here, this level of support that I had marked, and that's around the 12,830. Excuse me. So the 12,830 acted as a good level of support yesterday. Certainly we moved away from it, and currently, of course, this is a very bearish candle here. Let's see if this index is going to be able to break through this level right here, this 12,830. If it does, then, well, it could open the path towards these lower levels. The next level that we would be watching here would be this 12,750 mark, approximately there. And of course, slightly below that, we do have the 200 EMA approaching that level. So guys, I mean, there is a good level to watch here underneath. I mean, if we do get a nice break below this area right here, and this could act as a next good potential level of support, and then of course we'll have to evaluate it there. We'll have to have a look and see if it wants to break it or not. If it wants to continue moving lower, then we do have another good level of support here at around 12,600. But for now, of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's aim for this area right here, the 12,750, approximately there. If, of course, this level continues to hold, the 12,830 continues to hold, then we could see maybe a bounce back up here, or maybe even actually a touch of this psychological 13,000 again. So watch out for that one. We need to see a nice strong break above the 13,000 level, and especially a close above the 13,000 level. And of course, ideally, for us to kind of become more bullish on this one, we would need to see this index getting back into this rising channel formation. If it does something like this, I mean, then the downside could be off the table slightly for now. But like I said, until we see this move, for now we're kind of more bearish than bullish, because we're, like I said, we broke the rising channel here to the downside, and we've tested the bottom side of it yesterday. We couldn't break it and moved lower. So there is, to be honest, there is more potential to the downside than the upside. Let's have a look at one index that I really want to touch on, is the Italian Footsie MIB. Now yesterday, now talk about a quiet day, and then I mean, we managed to move here almost, well, actually dropped around from, if you take the highs here and look at the lows, and it dropped around 1,000 points already. So I mean, it found its support here at this level right here at around 21,930, approximately there. Certainly, if we need to keep a close eye on this level right now, because if it continues to break this level today again, well, this is not looking good for the index. I mean, the next potential area of support that we're keeping an eye on is this area right here at around 21,470, 450, something like this. So watch out for this one, guys. I mean, if we don't get a bounce here from this level and we continue to start breaking this, then, well, of course, initially aim for yesterday's low. Let me just quickly highlight that. So aim for the yesterday's low, and if this index will comfortably start breaking that level, well, like I said, it could open the path towards this level right here at around 21,460, 470, something like that. So watch out for this. On the upside, certainly we would need to see a nice move back above the 22,200 in order to kind of consider further upside moves. But for now, I mean, it's a very tricky one. I mean, it's looking quite negative, to be honest, and certainly there will be a point at some time where you can jump in and and go for a counter trend and maybe go for a little bit of a retracement. But to be honest, at the moment, it seems that this is not that moment yet. So for now, just continue observing this one. Looking at gold, and gold continues to trade around its psychological 1300. Of course, it's at an interesting spot right now. It's stuck between these this longer term trend line and this shorter term resistance line. So for now, of course, keep a close eye on it, because if we do get a nice pop here above this downwards moving resistance line, then, well, the next level to be touched could be this 1307 that acted as a good level of resistance. And of course, if that doesn't hold, well, guess what? I mean, we could end up pushing higher here again. We could start aiming for these highs here that we had around 1326, 20, something like this, and this could be the next good level of resistance. But of course, for that to see, we would need to see a nice move above the 1307. But for now, it's stuck here in this area. I mean, then there is a strong chance for this one, for this commodity, to move lower as well. So keep an eye on this upwards moving trend line here that I was talking about. This upwards moving trend line has been running since December 2016. So a good level of support. If it starts to break that level of support, and especially if we get a close below that, and of course a close below the 1290, well, I mean, this could not look good for the for gold, and we could end up pushing lower here, maybe even towards the 1280. Let's quickly touch on US oil quickly. So US oil now, of course, we're seeing a bit of retracement back here to the upside. We're testing this level right here at around 66.80 or 66.70, sorry. So we're not far from this upwards moving trend line here. We haven't kind of tested it yet, so we managed to get close to it, but still haven't touched that trend line. So this trend line, just to remind you guys, it's running from August last year, and a very good potential area for a test. It could be certainly if we'll start seeing breaks below that, then keep an eye on this level right here at around 65.55. Now a break below that could open the path towards these lower levels here, but for now, until we saw this, I mean, we're gonna stick to this trend line. Let's see if the commodity bounces from it or not. We could maybe end up getting a bit of a retracement to the upside, but so for now, it's more to the bearish side than the bullish. So watch out for this area right here, guys. Let's quickly touch on a few pairs, and let's have a look at the euro dollar. Now, euro dollar yesterday had a very crazy day, I would say. I mean, initially in the morning it was moving higher, and it seemed that it wants to touch this downwards moving resistance line from underneath, but then reversed quickly down and moved lower here. We almost managed to touch this upwards moving trend line here that's running from around January 2017. So of course, we're not far from it. If we manage to get a touch here today, let's keep an eye on it, because it could act as a good bouncing ground, maybe for a bit of retracement to the upside. So who knows, we could maybe get something like this. And for us to kind of become more bullish, to be honest, on this one, we would need to see a nice break above this downwards moving resistance line, and especially above this area right here, the 1.17150, approximately there, in order to consider higher levels. But for now, of course, this is looking quite bearish on the bigger picture, and certainly keep an eye on this area right here. Now, if we do get a break below that area, watch out for this next key level of support, this 115,500, approximately there. And this level acted as a good level of support in November last year. So keep an eye on this area. Could be a good touch here if we do get a break below this longer term upwards moving trend line. Now, let's have a look at the pound against the US dollar. Now, the pound is a slightly different story here. I mean, we are testing this this downwards moving resistance line now, and certainly this is becoming a bit tricky, to be honest. I mean, it's, if this continues to hold, of course, we get a nice break below the 133, then, well, we could end up pushing lower. But to be honest, it seems that at the moment it kind of building up the picture that the 133 is proving to be very strong ground for the GBPUSD. So I would probably stay very careful here, guys. I mean, if we do get a nice pop here, that's wonderful, and especially we need to see if we get a nice close above this downwards moving resistance line. If we do get a close above that line today, well, aim for this next area right here, the 133,900. A break above that could send this towards this next key area of well, now it's going to be resistance. So this next key area of resistance at the 134.55. But this scenario, I'm only talking about this scenario if we get a nice break here above this downwards moving resistance line, and especially get a close above this line. So, but for now, stay sharp, because we do have an equal chance of this pair moving lower here, and at the lower end here, we're keeping an eye on the 132,200, approximately there. So watch out for this one, guys. Quickly, let's touch on the few dollar pairs, and the so the USDJPY continues to move lower. Certainly you can see that the yen is strengthening, and it's pushing not only the dollar but also the euro as well. The euro GBP is performing similarly, moving lower, and at the moment, of course, keep an eye on this area right here, this Thursday's low. So we can see that the pair is kind of stuck here, just around that Thursday's low. So if we're going to continue pushing lower here, we're going to start breaking it and moving lower. Then the next area to watch would be this 108,650, approximately there. So 108,650 could be the first good level of support. But if that doesn't hold, I mean, we do have another one, another good one, which is the 108 mark, approximately there. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, this could play out as a nice level. And if the 108 doesn't hold, slightly below that, we do have this area here at the 107,900. So slightly below the 108, but still, nevertheless, a good area of support. Could be a good area of support. So watch for that one. If we suddenly get a reversal back to the upside, well, I mean, this could place the pair back above this long-term upwards moving trend line that's running here from 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly double check that. Yep, 2012 September, around that time. And if we do get a reversal, this could place the pair back above that trend line, and of course we could then start aiming towards this psychological 110 level. So for now, just keep an eye on it, guys. I mean, it is looking interesting, but to be honest, it's more looking to the downside rather than the upside. But anything can happen. Let's quickly have a look at USDCAD, and the last one, probably that's the last one that I'm going to look at right now. So USDCAD is, yesterday we had a nice push above the psychological 130, managed to reach about the level of around the 130.250, something like that, but then quickly retraced back down and closed below the psychological 130. Now, certainly this is, of course, raising a bit of questions. I mean, is this actually as strong as it looks as. So for now, I would probably stay sharp and still continue to keep an eye on this psychological 130. If we continue pushing lower here today, like this candle is forming right now, keep an eye on this area right here, the 129,500. We could test that level again, and maybe actually this downwards moving trend line as well. We could test that from above, which could potentially act as a good bouncing ground maybe for a reversal back to the upside. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, we could get a scenario something like this, but if this reverses straight away up to the up, then still keep an eye on this 130. I mean, we could start moving towards these yesterday's highs at around 132.50, and if that doesn't hold, well, I mean, we could start breaking that to the upside, and yeah, we could continue pushing higher. But for now, stay very careful here, because we are kind of getting stuck here between the 130 and the 129,500 zone. So yeah, watch out for that one, guys. Okay, I hope you found this useful. I hope you join me later on in my trader's tea time. And yeah, as always, guys, keep an eye on the price action and have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you very much.